G'day humans, Chris Stead here. Today I've got an unboxing for you. It's a really important one too. It's the new GoPro Mission 1 Pro action camera. It's a huge deal in the action camera world because it's a complete reset for GoPro. A much needed one in my opinion. In this video, I'm going to show you what's in the box. I'm going to talk you through some of the big spec changes that we're seeing here and what GoPro is doing to re-establish its position in the action camera space. Plus, I've got some accessories to show you as well. So let's jump in, take a look. So like I said, a hugely significant release this one. It's been a couple years since we've had the GoPro Hero 13, which let's be honest, didn't hit the mark. It was a good camera and I've been using it actually until a week ago. Yeah, it didn't do a whole lot for what GoPro needed to do to fight against what I think has been some pretty stiff competition in recent times from the likes of Insta360 and in particular DJI. Now, with the Mission 1 Pro, as the name would suggest, they're wiping the slate clean of the Hero brand, and it's a significant reset. This is a generational jump forward. It's dealing with a lot of the things that I had big complaints about with the Hero 13, namely that sensor size. So it's got a big 1-inch sensor now. It's going to really help with low light. It's going to really help with high dynamic range and kind of better shadows. It's got a better bit rate, it's got high resolution. We're getting up to 8K 60 possibility here, 4K 240 frames a second. So that's pushing it to previously never before seen limits of what can be achieved. On the back of that, they're going with a new GP3 processor. This is, again, another big evolution of what's possible from GoPro. We're seeing a lot better thermal cooling, or we're promised a lot better thermal cooling, higher bit rates, greater efficiency. In fact, the battery life has seemingly jumped massively. They're reporting, it depends on the resolution that you go for, but they're reporting up to 3 times the battery life. So 4K 30 jumps from about 1 hour to 3 hours of battery life, which is obviously a significant increase. We're seeing some improvements with the audio side of things. So it's a 4-mic array now. There's going to have inbuilt wind sound limiting. We're going to be getting a new GoPro mic ecosystem. So that's supposed to release around the same time as this, I'm told. That's so May 2026. And I'm really excited to check that out because previously with the GoPro Hero 13, the audio side of things was a pain in the butt. The media mod was not user-friendly, connecting it to other receivers such as the DJI mic. It wasn't an in-ecosystem connection. It worked, but it was loose. The Bluetooth wasn't so great. This is stepping up to Bluetooth 5.3 and Wi-Fi 6. And with the GoPro mic, it's going to have its own, I believe, inbuilt system connecting the mic to the GoPro, like its own wireless network effectively to get maximum clarity, maximum range. I'm really excited about that. And I mentioned doing more to kind of pull down that sound of wind with the audio. I'm also told that we're going to be getting a neural processor in this, so an NPU. So the AI is going to be playing some sort of role in shot, also through 13 different kind of intelligent capture modes. So a lot going on. Even the waterproof depth is dropping to 20 meters on this without a case. And out of interest, this is a side note, I literally was 2 weeks ago scuba diving in Raja Ampat in Indonesia, and I took my GoPro Hero 13 Black with me, and it's got a maximum range of 10 meters. I took it 20 meters down. Now the camera didn't break, but the pressure just pushed the button in so hard that you couldn't actually turn it off and on. So it just did nothing. So this would have been really handy at the time. I think this is very much needed. I thought the GoPro Hero 13 didn't do enough to hold its place. The one kind of negative is that the ecosystem has changed. So on the jump from the GoPro 12 to the 13, GoPro introduced a new ecosystem of kind of interchangeable lenses, and battery. There was a few bits and pieces that changed with that, and kind of encouraged GoPro users to basically do away with the ecosystem they already had and start a new ecosystem. And just on the next release, they've done that again, but I think it was necessary. I think they needed to wipe the slate clean, and they've done it properly here. I hope. You'll have to keep an eye on the review for more details on that, but let's have a look inside. And I'm really hoping this is like fixed some gremlins. Oh, my knife's not working. There it is. Now, one of the biggest problems I was having with the previous GoPro, the Hero 13, was it just became unsuitable in too many situations. As soon as it wasn't bright, natural blue sunlight, as soon as you go into anything that even slightly resembled low light, the picture quality went to hell, the image stability went to hell, and it just became, the footage that I would get out of that was just be almost next to useless. So the big sensor is going to really help with that, combined with the image stability required with the neural processor. I'm expecting a big change there. Sorry, I've decided to go a bit ruthless on that. Okay, so let's see what's in the box. So everything's sliding out in one go. So I think from memory, GoPro used to have like kind of the clear plastic front, so you can kind of see the camera sitting there. They've done away with that. It's a slimmer profile. I can see here it's kind of recycled cardboard inside, so for the sustainability side of things, totally worthwhile. I mean, so many people are buying things online right now. Why sacrifice the environment for packaging? All right, here we go inside. We have must update the camera here before you use it. There is a firmware update that I do know is coming out just before the camera's release, because I've been explicitly asked by GoPro not to show any footage from the camera until that firmware releases. And I think that's fair enough if it's going to just show not the finished quality experience. Subscribe, I'm assuming that's quick, or the GoPro itself directly. Some warranty cards. And do I have product questions? Lots. Okay, here we go inside the box. Everything's neatly packaged away. Very nice. Okay, immediate potential drama here. But not drama, it's just disappointing. It's a very short cable. We see this a lot nowadays. So it's not a GoPro thing, just really, really short cables. So God forbid you needed to plug this into a PowerPoint down on the floor, because then your GoPro has to sit down on the floor. Yeah, very, very short. Feels a nice thick cable, but back 30 centimeters? 30 centimeters, maybe. All right, moving forward, there's the camera. So we'll leave that to last, huh? So we've got our battery here. So that's our new battery. As far as I understand it, there's only the one battery type. So you don't have like a plus battery that lasts longer. But it's kind of a familiar GoPro style. It's a little bit slimmer. I really hope that thermal side of things really works, that they're touting a much cooler camera, and I did have a lot of problems with the last GoPro overheating on extended shots. That's actually rubber. Yeah, it's actually quite soft. Is this a lens flare guard? Like a sunglass? Okay, so we've got a familiar mount there, so looks like those types of mounts are going to work. In fact, here we go. This will be no surprise to any GoPro users. If it's not broke, I guess don't fix it. But that also does instantly show you that a lot of your existing mounts are going to work, because that is clearly the same system. And we've got the screw here as well. I will say that they've gone for the, see the 4 kind of square end approach. I don't know if you can see that there. That is, in my mind, unfortunate. I find the 4 approach nowhere near as good as the T, like the 2-pronged approach. You can get a much better grip on that when you want to spin it. And these things can actually lock in place if you use it in salt water a lot. It tends to, I've noticed it really can seize up. The salt gets in there. Not so much rust, but the salt just gets in there, and it just, you lose that kind of, it just gets stuck into place, and you can really have to crank it sometimes to get them off. So I prefer the T because you can grab it better. Anyway, hardly a deal breaker. And here we go with the GoPro itself. All right, so have a look. So this is my first experience with it. I haven't been able to see it previously. Unfortunately, I was away in Indonesia scuba diving when the launch event happened here in Australia. And look at that. Right, wow, it's a significantly bigger profile. There's no doubt about it. So that front end there, you can see quite a significant profile change, isn't it? Just there's more to it. Now, obviously that's allowing for that bigger sensor, which I think was a critical must. I think I had to go there. But it's definitely going to make it a little less portable, a little less easy to just pack into your backpack, into your purse, wherever it happens to be going. And also, obviously, it's going to allow for a lot more catch zone if you've got that kind of mounted, or you're going through, riding your bike through sticks and leaves and doing any of that action camera stuff. There's just a bit more to catch on. It's definitely got some more weight in it. I can certainly feel the weight. Look at even the buttons, look at the button. See the big bulge on top there? I think that's coming through clear. So definitely more to press, a lot easier to find, which is good. It's a bit of a frustration when you're sitting there going, where's the bloody button? Especially when you don't want to have that beep, 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 beep going on. But again, it's just adding to the surface area. Definitely a heavier camera. It's definitely, I'm gonna have to go get my 13 and weigh it up against each other. Much bigger screen, I believe it's 14% bigger on the back, and you can instantly feel that. And otherwise, design-wise, it looks like, what do we got over here? Do not open. Oh, it's the mic, where the mic can plug through in there. And then you got that kind of classic gate over here. Entrance with the SD card slot, from what I can see, in exactly the same spot as usual. It looks like a little bit more accessible, thankfully, because it was a pain in the butt trying to get that SD card out of the Hero 13. Yeah, okay, well, I'm super intrigued. I cannot wait to see how this goes. I really, really want this to kind of level GoPro right up and to, you know, into its heights where it belongs. It's definitely a different, it looks like GoPro at a glance. It's obviously got a very clear GoPro shape, GoPro design, like you can straight away to GoPro. I'm telling you, in your hand, it feels like a different beast. It's bigger, it's heavier, it's got more coming out of it in terms of the shape. But if that's gonna produce the quality we're looking for in terms of the shot, then so be it. You can see the bottom there is the classic fold down that we've seen. It's still got the, what is it, the 1/4 inch screw in the bottom as well. So it's gonna go to all of your typical screw in mounts as well, which is fine, which is good. I'm glad that they haven't tried to turn that into an accessory related change as well. Okay, now, like I said, I've got a couple of accessories that I'm gonna open as well while we're here. So I've got the magnetic latch mount. So that's going to be the, just for easier changes. I should be more elegant with this, but it is just a box at the end of the day. So let's get it open. Okay, so we've got instructions here. We have the magnetic mount, like so. It should just go in like that, yeah. So it just makes it a lot easier. If you want multiple mounts you want to change behind, you can just kind of take it off and on with easy. It's kind of handy if you're snowboarding or something like that. You've got gloves on. Now, interestingly, it's also come with a different type of screw to go into the magnetic, you know, through the hole here. It's metallic, and it's got like a groove on top of it. So that's really interesting. That's industrial strength. That's going to help. You can actually get a, you know, flathead screwdriver and actually crank that if you need to. So that's good, because I have snapped these. Trying to get them off when they're stuck. So there we go. That's everything in the magnetic mount. And what else have we got here? Now I do have a second battery that is supplied. So no tricks for the second battery, but it did come with a dual battery charger. Now this wasn't in a packaging. So to be fair to GoPro, this is like the first camera they sent out in Australia, like literally the first. A bunch of the stuff hadn't quite arrived in the country yet. So they've just thrown that in for me, but that gives you a little bit of a look and an idea about what the dual battery charger experience is like, charging by USB-C. Again, it's got quite a bit of weight in it, so it doesn't feel awfully portable, but obviously functionally handy, especially if you're going on big trips. And you need to do overnight charging. Now, I have no idea what this is. It has nothing written on it whatsoever, so let's find out. It's a mystery, it's a loot box. All right. Inside we have I think it's the grip. Yeah, it's the grip. So I did notice on the GoPro website they're advertising that every purchase of the camera will come with a grip for free included. This is obviously it. I wonder if it doubles as a medium mod of any sort. So basically what this is going to allow you to do is turn your action camera, your portable little cool GoPro action camera, into something that much more resembles a traditional camera. So a bit more real estate to hold into your hand if you want to use it to shoot in that kind of traditional kind of style. That's what it's going to allow for. So interesting, it's all metal. Interesting cage setup here. It's actually got a flash shoe on top of it as well. And a few dials compared to it. Anyway, we're going to go into all this in the actual proper review. But I did have this stuff here, so I did want to show it to you. Nice strong handle. Very interesting. Interesting inclusion, that. Makes more sense with the ILS version of this. So there's the GoPro Mission 1, there's the GoPro Mission 1 Pro, and there's the GoPro Mission 1 ILS, I think it is, so interchangeable lens system. So that allows you to take these off and put on a macro, for example, and I think there's 4 variants that you can screw on. So that's like kind of the next level up. The Mission 1 Pro, which is this one, versus the Mission 1 is literally the same camera, except the Mission 1 can't quite reach the same resolution height. So I think I can do 8K 30, but not 8K 60. I think I can do 4K 120, not 4K 240. So I think the Mission 1 actually will be fine for the vast majority of people, but if you're going to step up and start using these things to produce things of a cinema quality, then you might want to go to the Mission 1 Pro, and obviously the ILS system then gives you the flexibility to really start using it like a proper camera. All right, anyway, that is quite in-depth, I guess, for an unboxing. It's a bit more than an unboxing, wasn't it? An unboxing and a spec breakdown of the new GoPro Mission 1 Pro. Like I said, a really exciting release. It's been a while. GoPro's kind of stepped away for a couple of years, stayed quiet. I've been tinkering away on this, made some clear, significant internal decisions and changes to the way that they were approaching what was going to be the new ecosystem with the 13, and come back with a product which on paper looks bloody impressive. But now I'm going to take it through its paces. So make sure you keep it on the channel. There will be a review going live as soon as I spend some serious time with this. And otherwise, I'm Chris Stead. Thank you very much for watching. Till next time, I'll see you later.